everybody. Good evening, good evening. All right, coming in loud and clear. Actually, we are broadcasting live on YouTube Live as well. All systems go. I think we are all set, are we? Okay, make sure everybody is on. Everybody is on. Who is on? Who is not on? If you're not here, why not? Where are you? Where are you? Where are you, huh? Okay, let me just check to make sure. See if my partner in crime is on. Nope, he's not. That's fine. That's fine. We're going on all these people on. Oh my gosh, they're all coming in here, folks. Come on in, gang. Lots of room in the front. Lots of room in the front. Oh my Lord. I've seen some of these names in a long time. Good to have you all here. Okay, all right, let's get started. Let's get started here. And I'm sure I'm missing a few here as well. Wow, okay. All right. Okay, let's get started here. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. All right. Okay, now we're all set. We got everything. Everything's good. Okay. Good evening, folks. Welcome to DayTradeSPY.com's Weekend Review. My name is Hugh, and it's Sunday, November the 9th, 2025. Excuse me, something new here. Yes, we are on social media. We're just kind of getting all set up. A little late, right? I know what you're thinking. Really? Yeah, a long time ago we sort of dabbled in it, but I think we're going to get a little serious now. Anyway, follow us. All you have to do is just she gets her Instagram set up here, DayTradeSPY underscore. That's it, DayTradeSPY underscore. Follow us. I think I got three people already. I'm not sure, but anyway, we need a lot of people, folks. We need a lot of people. So please do us a favor and follow us on DayTradeSPY underscore. All right, let's get started. Okay, yes, it's the fall here. I'm going to just leave you to read this for a couple of minutes. Actually, just about a few seconds. Just a few seconds. I think y'all know how to read. And yeah, okay, this is our standard disclaimer that keeps us out of jail, right? We don't want to go in the big house. Yeah, that's right too. Folks, you alone are responsible for all your own trading, and past performance does not guarantee future results. All right, let's get on with the thing here. There's you, and yeah, there's me. Oh my gosh, I'm feeling grubby here tonight. It's Sunday night. What was I doing today? I was busy working with this stuff here and some other stuff. So and chasing my stupid cat. We're watching this cat. We're cat sitting, believe it or not. Yeah. I feel like I'm cheating on my dear friend Lucy here, my dog, but she's now been gone for a long time. But we took it upon ourselves. One of the kids needed a cat sitter, so what are you supposed to do, right? But this cat, she's got quite the personality. She wakes us up every morning at 7 o'clock. Doesn't recognize standard time, so I said, no, 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 8 o'clock. No, no. She wants to get up. She wants to be fed. And we discovered something really cool. My wife said, because we're going out, she said, make sure you put the TV on for the cat. I said, okay, really? She says, yeah, she likes, she likes this show called Bluey. Bluey's, I guess, some kids show. This is actually unbelievable. So she punches up Bluey on TV, big screen TV. The cat immediately jumps off the couch and runs to the TV, sits right in the middle, right in the front, and watches this thing. And she's glued to the TV to this show called Bluey, just glued to it. And we're looking like, I cannot believe this. I can't believe it. And we come back, I don't know, an hour later or something. She's still sitting there watching the TV. Unbelievable. Anyway, I'm not sure where that came from. Folks, use the questions box. You'll find the icon on your Zoom dashboard. You'll find Sunday nights are kind of a quiet, easy night. And what happens is talk about a lot of different things, kind of what's going on, and also other things. And yes, some of you had a comment here. Yes, this finger is actually broken a few years ago. Believe it or not, I was opening the dishwasher, got stuck, and I just yanked it, and the tendons in this finger here broke. I could never get it fixed, so it looks like I'm a little, yeah, but I'm not. It's actually a broken finger. I think I'm gonna just live with it and just go to my grave with it. The chiropractor tried to fix it, but no such luck. Anyway, use the questions box. You'll find a little icon on your Zoom dashboard, folks. Click on that. I am the only one that sees the questions. And yes, I got new glasses a couple of weeks ago. Somebody made the comment already on that one. Okay. Yeah. All right. I want you to bunch of the questions box who you're all from. I want to get an idea where everybody is from here today. I get a lot of people online. Just want to get an idea where everybody is from here tonight. Just get to know that, just to see what kind of reach we have here, right? What kind of reach? All right, so let's go on with it. The weekend review. Also, let us know if this is your first time. First time, I want to give you a special welcome. And if if it is your first time, and if you don't know anything about options, let me know that because then we can do we can extend the session and give you a primer on options. All right, but I'm not going to do it unless you tell me that you want that. All right. All right, where are we here? We've got Orlando, Georgia, Houston, Texas, Canada. That's Toronto, Diorani. Yes, I remember you, Diorani. Quincy, met Diorani on a cruise. We were cruising somewhere. Very nice lady. Let's see, who else do we have? Robert, Max. Let's see, Guelph, Ontario, North Carolina, New York, New Jersey. There's somebody from Illinois, another one from Illinois, Michigan. All right, Texas, California, UK. All right, checking in from all over the place, all over the place. Okay, good stuff, good stuff. All right, so just want to introduce myself to you. For those of you who don't know, my name is Hugh. Learned most of what I know from the trenches. All right, real deal. Training internationally since 2010. Been doing this a long time. Looking for short-term breakout trades, small, multiple gains a day. Excuse me. I figure if I can just ramp up, small gains every day, I can do quite well. Plus, it's a lot of fun, right? We enjoy trading. That's what we like to do. Now, my associate John. So, just real quick here, anybody who doesn't know, we've been doing this since 2010. About 3 years ago now, Eagle Financial Products, financial publications, took notice, and they made us a deal that we couldn't refuse. They bought us out, then they hired us back, and then they brought on another trader to help me out with the trading room. His name is John Johnson. Hmm. Pardon me while I get a drink here. So John is excuse me, a litigation lawyer by trade earlier on, but he gave that up. Instead, he trades. He trades and he teaches people how to trade. Pretty cool. Very highly acclaimed in many industry publications. His philosophy is very simple. Take what the market will give you. So between the two of us, we have some really cool synergy. Synergy. What is synergy anyway? What is synergy? You know what synergy is? Synergy is 1 plus 1 equals 3. You heard me right. 1 plus 1 equals 3. That's what synergy is. So we have a saying here between John and myself. When our trades unite, when our indicators unite, our trades ignite. When our indicators unite, our trades ignite. Why is that? Because John looks at a certain set of indicators and I look at a different set of indicators. And when one of us says, I think it's about to go up, and the other one says, I think it's about to go up, you might want to buy call options, right? Call options, because it's probably going to go up. So we come from different angles, looking at the same thing, and we do very well together. So we also do very well together in that John does the Wednesday night sessions, inner circle sessions, and I do Sunday night. Give him a break, right? He gives me a break, I give him a break. So anyway, John's a great guy too. Anybody who's talked to John knows that, and we really welcomed him on very nicely, and we're very excited to have John with us in the trading room. Here's what I'm going to talk about here, folks. Going to give you a little bit of a preview from last week, next week preview, review of last week, preview of next week. Get ready, folks. We're going to be launching the 5 to 50K challenge. Tell you a little bit about that. That's coming up here. Out in the cornfield. Going to go out in the cornfield, chat, talk about your challenges. All right. That's why you need to put them in the questions box. Going to give you a little 2-minute tutorial. Talk about how we can help you and going to answer your questions again and have a little contest at the end. Okay. Also want to welcome, let's see, Robert. First time, Newport, Rhode Island. Good to have you here. Let's see, never won Max, never won the prize about 2 weeks ago. Um, I don't remember. Did you win a prize, Max? What prize was that, Max? Max, MUK. Okay, I will. Let's see. I'll take a look. I'm not really sure. We'll find something there for you. I sometimes vaguely remember something about that. Was that you? Okay, well, let's see if we can find it. Make sure that you actually have your, excuse me, email servers set that that you can receive mail from us because if it goes to a junk box, a questions box, or rather a promotions box, can't help you there, right? It's got to your email's got to get set up and that it receives mail from us. So just a reminder too, if you're not already a subscriber to Spy on the Market, make sure you are. We talked about the left brain, right brain last week, and how how my right brain and left brain don't speak to each other. They're not on speaking terms. They're saying, "I'm going to run you emotionally," and the other one says, No, you're not. I'm going to run you intellectually." They have a real problem connecting. But actually, had a kind of a fun session last week. Fun newsletter. You might want to read it if you haven't yet already. And this week's topic, a little bit of expansion on that two brain thing. All right, we're going to turbocharge trading with double the brain power. This week it's going to talk about how John and we combine our brains. So we double our brain power. Instead of splitting them up, we're doubling them. And that's how we make a lot of money. Make a lot of money. Yeah, isn't that how Trump says it? A lot of money, a lot of money. Anyway, folks, if you want to subscribe to this, just simply go to our website, daytradespy.com. When the little pop-up comes up at the top there, just leave us your email address, and you're going to get this every Thursday, delivered right to your inbox. All right to your inbox. Now, if you don't want to subscribe, that's fine, no problem. You can always go to see the old e-letters, newsletters. Simply go to the website, daytradespy.com, and up at the top left, you will see a link to Spy on the Market. And that is our newsletter. And you can go back and see pretty well all the newsletters from the first day. I think we had like 111, 112 of them already. So, been doing that for a couple of years now. So, all right, Spy in the Market. So, here's a look at last week, folks. Let's take a look here, see what's going on. Interesting last week. On Monday, stocks were bouncing up and down in pre-market. They were lifted by the big tech, in particular, a $38 billion Amazon and OpenAI deal. After the initial technical drop, ran back up. But on Tuesday, markets dropped, pressured by declines in artificial intelligence related overvaluations. The S&P declined 1.17%, shot SPY down about 5 points. On Wednesday, we had jitters over overinflated tech stocks. Let me see if I can get this right here. Overinflated tech stocks. Okay. They abated, plus upbeat earnings and better than expected economic data boosted SPY back to near 681. Let me make sure that that's up there. Okay, hang on. Let me just get this space out of there. Jitters over overinflated tech stocks. Okay, there we go. There we go. Market came back down to 681 on Thursday. Excuse me. Investors let off a little steam on richly valued stocks. Sent SPY down over 1%, led by Tesla's $1 trillion pay package to Elon Musk. Can you imagine having a pay package worth $1 trillion? You literally cannot spend that fast enough. Of course, I'm sure Elon's going to find a way. He'll come up with something so new, so bizarre, so off the wall. Nobody else has thought of it. But apparently the Tesla people wanted him to focus on Tesla. They want that to become the world's biggest, richest car company, and they want autonomous cars. They want to really grow this Tesla even bigger. So they said, Elon, stay with us for the next few years. We want you. We're going to give you $1 trillion. That was Thursday. Now Friday, interesting day Friday. Pre-market, the market tanked. Continued to tank once the opening bell rang. Continued to drop in record-breaking government shutdown. I think we're in our, 39th day or something like that, maybe the 40th day now. Lack of federal economic data and overvaluations. It hit a low of 662 before bulls rushed in and said, hey, yeah, this is a good buying opportunity. I'm going to get in here. And they pushed it right back up. SPY closed up around 672 and kept pushing higher at the end of the day. And I believe the futures are actually right now Up. Let me just check that real quick here. I think they're up. Let's see. Yes, they're up. S&P is currently up 36.50. Nasdaq is up 217.92 for the Dow. Oil and gold are also both up. I see these up in the top left here. So we're going to park those boys over to the side. Anyway, that's kind of where things are going. If that continues on, we might break this resistance that we're sitting at and push even higher. I could see that happening. So AI enthusiasm hit a valuation speed bump, although plans to show no sign of slowing. Pullback that we saw reflects sentiment, not the fundamentals. Fundamentals are still very good for AI. We did see some high volatility underscoring market concentration with the top 10 stocks representing 40% of the S&P 500 market cap. That's always been one of the beauties about the S&P. I felt that the stocks, excuse me, there wasn't any one stock that's going to necessarily pull the entire index, but instead they got together with the top 10. They're pulling 40% of the index, and most of them are tech stocks. So maybe we're not as differentiated from the Nasdaq as we thought we would be, but I mean, it is what it is, right? Imagine that. Nvidia is a what, $3 trillion company now? $4 trillion company? Or was it 5 trillion? I can't remember now. What does it matter after $1 trillion, right? Concerns concerning an emerging bubble with the AI sector, right? But the tech leaders are still profitable. November kicked off to a wobbly start with renewed scrutiny of AI valuations. AI, this is the word of the day, folks. AI still has strong potential to boost corporate profits, but short-term labor market disruptions are possible. These are the ideas coming out of the pundits as for what happened this last week, and we'll see what happens. Here's some really cool charts. Magnificent Seven earnings growth surpassed the S&P 500 earnings growth, as you can see here. We're heading into we're actually in the thick of the fourth quarter right now. But you can see how the blue bars are the Magnificent Seven. Their earnings have far exceeded the standard by which the S&P has grown. And here are the top 10 companies that account for nearly for about 40% of the S&P 500. These companies by capitalization: Alphabet, which is Google; Amazon, Apple, Berkshire Hathaway; Broadcom, JP Morgan Chase; Meta Platforms, Facebook, which is Instagram and Facebook, Meta; Microsoft, Nvidia, and Tesla. Combined, they comprise of about 40% of the market valuation of the S&P 500. Never saw that coming. You can see how it's busted right up through here. And, where we hung around here a few years ago, only about 15, 20%. Now it's a full whopping 40%. I think it's going to go even higher. So now here's an interesting chart. As with previous waves of innovation, some job displacement is likely in the early stages of AI adaptation. Longer term, however, productivity gains from disruptive technology tend to boost overall economic activity. Now, these charts indicate job cuts by industry. 28% government cuts, a lot of the Doge, right? 13% of those technology, warehousing, retail, services, financial, other, 33%. But here's the job cuts by reason. Everybody always thought, oh, AI is going to cut everybody's job. We're not going to have jobs because of AI. Well, only about 6% of the jobs are cut due to AI, right? Most of it's probably Doge, cost cutting 29%, market conditions 21%, companies closing 15%, restructuring 10%, cost cutting 7%, bankruptcy only 4%. But AI represents 6%, which is second from the lowest here. So that is the dominant driver here with job cuts. Interesting stuff. This week, S&P dropped 1.6%, down a year to date 14.4. Stuck somewhere between the Nasdaq and the Dow Jones. All three indices, major indices, excuse me, saw a drop here this last week. Nasdaq suffered the most, 3%. That's because the Nasdaq has the all the big tech stocks, the overvalued tech stocks. The first thing to go is going to be those overvalued stocks. They're going to be the first ones to ramp up, and they're going to be the first ones to go as well. So that's the danger of being in the queues. The queues is the Nasdaq. People often say, "Well, how come you don't do the queues?" And it is for that reason because it's just much more volatile, and you don't need much of a kick in the gut to get pushed down if you're sitting in the queues. So for that reason, we just like to stay in the S&P 500. All right, let's look at the seasonal charts, folks. Let's expand this a little bit here. As you know, the blue line is the current SPY price, red line is the average of the last 5 years daily closing price. Okay, and it's just zoom in, you'll see here that historically SPY rose about 3 points over last week. And seasonally, SPY rose about 12 points the following week as we head into the closing of the year here, year end. Now, just so you know that past performance does not represent what's going to currently happen necessarily, but it's nice to know that we had an increase here. It's a considerable increase. It'll probably happen again this year too. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. It could be. I mean, of course, last 5 years, we didn't always have Trump as the president. And this year we have a lot of factors affecting the prices of the stock market, interest rates, whatnot. I'm just thinking here, if you hear silences, because I'm thinking about the Fed Reserve governors. They're actually pretty split on whether interest rates should drop in December or not. And I know the future is generally built in about a 60, I think it's like about a 69% probability of a 25 basis point rate cut at the December Fed meeting, and about a 31% chance that they're going to keep the rates the same. Interesting thing to note about that is just the other day, Fed Chair Powell was very adamant. Could be much clearer. He said rate cuts in December is not a foregone conclusion. Those are his words. But it doesn't look like the market's listening to him. The market's doing whatever the market wants to do. And it's considering, for the most part, that, yeah, we're going to get some rate cuts in December. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. And if, let's say, the rate cuts don't happen, is the market going to tank? Quite possibly. So just brace yourself for whatever happens at that point. All right, the week ahead. Let's see what do we have. No low news day, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Mostly because of the shutdown, right? Shutdown is causing quite a stir. I'm just reading earlier about air traffic controllers. So now they're discussing whether the actual air traffic controllers, the pullback in air traffic, what about 10% or whatever it is so far, it's going to increase later on. Whether that's just a political football to get the both parties to finalize on a resolution here with the budget. So they're blaming each other. The fact is, air traffic controllers have not been paid since early October. They take their jobs very professionally. But I was listening to a YouTube on one of the controllers saying that doesn't mean a whole lot, to be honest with you. Whether they talk to 14 planes or 140 planes an hour, that's irrelevant. The point is they're still going to work. They take these jobs very seriously, and, they need to get paid. You know. So we have jokingly say in the trading room that listen, if air traffic controller comes to deliver your pizza, be good to them, tip them a lot, because they have to take on other jobs, driving Uber, whatever they take. So anyway, not a lot of news has been coming out of Washington lately. And that's what we call it, a low no news day. However, I just want you to note that on Tuesday, it is going to be a banking holiday for Veterans Day. Veterans Day in the United States, they call it Independence Day, or no, Remembrance Day in Canada. Veterans Day. Anyway, markets are open. The stock market is open on Tuesday. However, it is a banking holiday. So what does this mean for you? Well, If you rely on the banks to close out your account the next day, that's going to affect you. In other words, if you're not under the pattern day trade rule, you're only allowed three trades in a 5 week rolling period. Or if you're on um, you're on a cash account where you need your options trades to close to settle the next day. They will not settle the next day because Tuesday's a banking holiday. They're going to settle on Wednesday instead. So bear in mind if you're trading on Monday and you cannot trade until, if you're in a cash account, hold off until Wednesday because Tuesday is a banking holiday. You don't want to get hit with a pattern day trade rule, right? On Thursday, we've got unemployment claims, consumer price index, and also producer price index, PPI on Friday. These are two inflationary figures that are going to be coming in, and they're very important, especially since there is no news coming out of the Feds. That's going to make these other news items all the more important. So we've got low volatility Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and then high on Thursday and Friday. All right, the volatility is going to flip, going to be high on Thursday and Friday. With low volatility, what that means is be more cautious. You may not see your gains quite as quickly or quite as large as you'd expect. If normally you're looking for, say, a 6% trade, or, if on a scalp you're looking for, 12, 15, 20 cents, well, you might be happy with a little bit less. All right, if the volatility is going to be really, really low on these days, you need some volatility, right, in order to make your profits. So you want to, hold on to those. All right, so yeah, don't get too greedy on the low volatility days. Thursday and Friday can probably make up for it. Folks, Daphne says here, come hither, trader. We'll show you how to spot them, how to trade them, the many opportunities on a daily basis that we find, and you know what, we lift up every rock. We look for those opportunities. Every rock gets lifted up. Every tree trunk gets turned. Every leaf gets pulled over to see where are the trades. Is there any trades underneath? So don't forget, if you're not in the trading room, you want to get into the trading room because we are going to be launching again our 5 to 50K challenge in January, starting early January, and that's exclusively in our trading room. What is this, you ask, if you are new to this? Okay, well, what is this? This year, 2025, we started on January the 6th with $5,000, and we turned it into $50,000, supposed to be by the end of the year. However, we actually hit our target by mid-December, September, a little less than 9 months. We hit our target in less than 9 months, and that was all done live, live in the trading room, our morning trading room. So you don't have to trade. I suggest though you get into the trading room so you can see it happen, actually unfold live, and that's kind of what you want, isn't it? So join us there, and you can trade along or just watch it and see how spectacular this can really be. All right, the trading room. I want to tell you about the trading room here. Hosted by John and myself. Combined, we have over 45 years market experience. These are interactive, fully narrated. Learn and earn from the best, folks. They are recorded as well for future review. I say that learn and learn from the best because we've been doing it long enough. This isn't something we do as a hobby. This is it full time. Full time, teaching other traders how to trade options. So I think it's really kind of important, and you're going to learn a lot. You're not going to learn everything the same day. It's not like, you're going to come in one day or even 1 week. Some people think that, oh, they're going to just join us for a week and then they're off. But I'm going to tell you, the more you stay with this program, the better trader you're going to be. Simple as that. This is where strategies come alive every morning, 9:20 to 10:30 Eastern Time. All right. And also our highly acclaimed $5,000 to $50,000 challenge is going to be here in the trading room. Cost of the trading room, a mere, and I say mere, $6.99 a quarter, which is nothing. You break that down, 6.99 divided by a quarter, so divided by 3 months, you're talking about $233 a month. Is that right? $233 a month? Yes. And if you divide that by 4.33 weeks, you're looking at $54 a week. Split that by, say, 5 days. you're talking about 10, $11 a day, which is nothing for a service like this. Nothing. All right. It's very important that you understand that um, this is a heck of a deal. Okay. If you really want to learn from the best as to day trading options on SPY, John and I's combined 45 plus years experience. Um, Normally you can't buy that kind of experience, and we're giving you both, right, in the trading room every morning. So the best thing to do is this: contact customer service at daytradespy.com. They'll fill you in the details on booking the sessions and whatnot. So customer service at DayTradeSPY. We also have the DayTradeSPY signal. Now this is a particular option sent to your cell phone 3 to 5 times a week. It's an algo-based system, morning trades usually. The immediate buy put up for sale for 6% profit target. That's on every one of the trading accounts that you're doing here. And if you haven't sold it by the end of the day, sell at market close. All right. Very easy to get in on this one as well if you're not already part of it. Again, contact customer service at daytradespy.com. All right. Next up, we have the DayTradeSPY pick of the day. Similar to DayTradeSPY signal, not quite the same. This is where John and I hammer it out every morning, and we come up with the pick of the day. It's a particular option emailed to you by 9 o'clock in the morning, 5 days a week. Hand-picked trade to be bought at market open, put up for sale for 6% gain, could be held overnight. Now, again, contact customer service at DayTradeSpy if you're interested. So here's the thing with this, okay? Very often, just because the trade might be going against you doesn't mean you can't hold on to this one. Whereas the other one, pick of the signal, the idea there is to hold on to it and get rid of it at the end of the day type of thing. But the pick of the day, you can hold on until, tomorrow, the next day, the day after. There's going to be lots of time. And of course, it's fully supported by the women in our group, right? They want to make sure that we're delivering on the promise, right? Pick of the Day is an excellent program. It's been going on for a number of years. Inner Circle is also very lucrative. This is our morning market assessment sent to you at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. You also get a follow-up report later in the day. You'll be invited to our Wednesday night meetups. These are recorded for later review. And this is actually the most affordable way to get started, folks, with day trade spy stuff, whether you're a novice or you're a pro. I get a lot of people saying, "Well, gee, I like your concepts and your trading room and your trading, but am I not too old to get started? I'm already involved in other things." I say, listen, you know what? Not to discourage you or anything. Only you can kind of make that determination yourself. But I tell people things like, you know what? Join in. Join in the training room. If you can be there every day in the inner circle, be there. Our programs, believe it or not, all have a money back guarantee. If you're not happy in a certain time, just let them know. We've got we've got um, uh, you know we're on top of all that. So if you're really unhappy, you get your money back. Just tell them that. You don't even have to prove anything. Um, Eagle Financial Products backs up everything, so you're in good hands. I tell people a lot of times, just try it. We're not suggesting it's for you. It's not for everybody. Day trading isn't for everybody. But if you find kind of a nice, comfortable, relaxed trades, you're going to learn something. If you find that it works for you, stay with it. And if not, yeah, I think you've got like 30 days or something to ask for your money back. So it's not a problem. So again, contact customer service at DayTradeSpy for that. All right. Here's the chat. What do you want to talk about, folks? Any questions? Let me take a look and see some questions up on the board here. Okay, what are the questions? Okay, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Newport, Rhode Island. I think I said that. Da, da, da. Okay, so number 28 that was picked at the end of the session. Okay, Max, I have you on here, Max. I will get you. You know what, Max? You know what I need from you is your email address because I vaguely remember looking for somebody who won a prize, but we didn't have a valid email address for him. So punch your email address in the questions box. Nobody can see it, just myself, and I will copy that and get you your ebook on that. So All right. Why aren't the wins and losses listed? Okay. I was out most of the day and I didn't get back until late. So we didn't get all the wins and losses together in time. What he's referring to is in the week that just passed. Normally I put the wins and the losses, but this time I just didn't have the time to get them done. All right. We had some challenges, but we also had a lot of wins. So and I don't have that information here. So and thank you for that, Jeff D. He corrected me here. Nvidia is a $5 trillion. I thought it was a 5 trillion, but I thought, geez, that just sounds so expensive, so high. But it was turned out that it is the first $5 trillion company. Imagine that, $5 trillion. Man, unbelievable. Now these are valuations, all right. That's if you were to liquidate all the stocks and stuff, you'll get the $5 trillion. Imagine that. Let's say in one day you call all the brokers, okay, I want my Nvidia stock liquidated now. We're finished. I'm done. I'm going to retire now. $5 trillion. Oh, wow. What you can do just with the taxes on that, right? Okay, next up. Okay. Ha, thank you for that, John. John McKay. He says, I've been a subscriber and following you for over a year. This week's notes on right brain, left brain versus left brain hit hard. Thanks. I thought that was kind of a funny thing. It's true. When I go back, it's okay. So if you haven't read the newsletter, it's about the left brain, right brain, right? The left brain, I guess, controls the right brain and all the mathematical stuff and the logic and all that. And the right brain is your emotional, controls your creativity and your emotions and stuff. But when I think back, folks, I think back of, I guess, virtually all of my all the problems I've ever had. They were all based on emotions and usually involved a woman in there somewhere. But emotions, total emotions, trading, everything, when I think back of everything, uh, if there were emotions involved, I probably lost. And there's supposed to be some sort of a connection between your left and right brain. And I mentioned in the newsletter that I think my connection must have dried up in my misspent youth or something. I don't know, but they don't seem to be talking to each other. But what I did there now is this. All right, so I got into the habit of before I enter a trade, I ask myself, all right, this happens very, very quickly, like in seconds. I ask myself, I go back to the left brain. I say, listen, is this okay with you? Being a little facetious on this, but basically I am questioning, are all the criteria met for this trade? I know I want to get into it. Why do I want to get into it? Is it the greed? Is it FOMO, fear of missing out? Is it YOLO, you only live once? Have you guys ever thought about, you know what? I'm going to logic this out. Have you ever thought this? I'm going to logic this out. I have a 50-50 chance of making money on a stock. So what if I just take, all of my money and put it into the market and just have one great trade, right? You ever think of doing that? I mean, that's kind of almost a death wish, isn't it? Um, but yeah, I thought of that sometimes, but I never do it. I'm very careful now with my trading because I don't take losses too easily. And it's very easy to lose your money on the options market. It's funny because we talk about all the money that you can make on the options market and how, I guess, easy it could be if you know the system. You can make some pretty serious money. But it's those emotions that get in the way. They get in the way all the time. Emotions belong in your love life, not on the stock market. Um, I can't talk about that enough. Yet we still succumb to our emotions, don't we? Um, when I go back and look at my log, I log my trades. I look and see how how I did in past trades, and I make notes on if I had some struggles. And every time I had some struggles, it was because my one side of the brain, my left side, did not want to talk to my right side or whatever. They didn't want to communicate. They just said, "Okay, go ahead, do whatever you want. You'll be saddened." Excuse me, saddened to note that you're going to lose you. And in variable, I lose whenever I do not go through that exercise of actually reviewing what I want to do and ensuring that it's the right thing to do, right? So I like to have an exit before I actually get into a trade. Doesn't mean the exit can't change, but I like to have exit prices. If I get in a certain price, I like to have an exit. Could be 10 cents more, 12 cents more, 15 cents more. If I change that sell point, all right, I feel like I have to confirm it with my left brain. Okay, why are you moving it up? Okay, I see that. Yeah, there's more money coming in a way. It's going to be fine if you move it up a few cents, but don't keep pushing it up because here's what happens when you keep pushing it up, pushing it up, pushing it up. It only goes up to a certain level, then it reverses. So you're playing with fire. The more you push it up, the more you're playing with fire because it's going to reverse. And one thing I notice is when it reverses, after it run up like this, it reverses very, very quickly and very deeply to the point where you just simply cannot sell it fast enough, even with market orders. Anyway, moving along, moving along. Okay, does the trade room encompass day trade, spy, and signal services, or are they all separate? Okay, so the trading room, we discuss our strategies, essentially the bread and butter strategy, the OMG, which is short for out of the morning gate, which is kind of a neat trade. Statistically, it works very well. And what we do there is the first 5 minute candle to close outside of these support and resistance lines that we draw in at around 9 o'clock. That's the direction we're going to go looking for a 6% gain. We've been doing very well with that. On Friday was November the 7th, right? What did we do on Friday? It seems to me that we were in and out of that very quickly here. November the 7th. It's funny, I don't have my notes for November the 7th. No, no, I don't. I might have gotten rid of them already. Okay. But some days we're in and out of there in a matter of seconds. Other times, a couple of minutes. But by and large, it works very well for a 6% gain. Now, when volatility is low, and Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, we have no economic news, no high impact news. Assuming President Trump doesn't do something or say something, we could just waddle along right there, okay? And sitting at 13, 14, 15%. If that is the case, and you generally look for, say, 6, 7% on a trade, you might want to ramp that back down to, say, 3 or 4%, maybe 5%. Because when volatility drops, there's not much movement on the option, and therefore you may have to wait a long time before the volatility kicks up and gives you your 6%. So when low volatility is low, aim for a smaller target price. So we'll see what happens on the weekend. All right, but in the trading room, that's what we do. Now we have the day trade spy signal, which I'll tell you about, and the pick of the day. Did I not tell you about those? I guess I skipped through those, didn't I? Okay, yeah. Those are services that let me see. Pick of the day, inner circle. I think I might have skipped through some of these here. What happened to these guys? Okay, let's go back. Trading room. Okay, I must have skipped over them. I'm not sure how. Trading room. I talked about the trading room. All right. The day trade spy signal. This is a particular option sent to your cell phone 3 to 5 times a week in the mornings. Algo based algorithm, right? An immediate buy. As soon as you get it, stop what you're doing, go to your cell phone, load up your platform, and get into the trade. Immediately put up for sale for 5% gain. If it hasn't sold by the end of the day, sell it at market on close. All right. Again, go to customer service for the best pricing on that. Pick of the day, similar, but you're going to get the emailed, and it's emailed. You're going to get the pick at about 9 o'clock. So now this is not algo based. This is something that John and I get together and we hammer out a particular option to be bought right at the opening bell. All right. These are actually hand-picked options. And immediately, as soon as you get it, buy it, put it up for sale for 6% profit target. Now, those of you in the know, you could actually hold overnight on this, and it's not uncommon to do that, okay, because they are far enough out that your theta loss is going to be low enough that should deliver your gains, okay. But according to the ego people, we need to close it up by the end of the day. That's sometimes why you'll see some losses in there. when we report those, but they're really not losses because we'd probably be holding them overnight, and the next day they'll probably deliver. Okay. Again, this one too, just like the other services, contact customer service at DayTradeSPY. Tell them you want the best deal on the pick of the day. The very best deal, and they'll give you the best price they can. I don't know if I mentioned the inner circle. This is every morning you'll get the morning market assessment sent to you at 9 o'clock in the morning. You get a follow-up report later in the day, all right, yeah, or the early evening. And you'll also be invited to our Wednesday night meetups. These are weekly meetups. And bring all your questions, comments, concerns. It doesn't even have to be just on spy trading. It could be something like setting up charts or how do you do this, how do you do that, that sort of thing. All right. This is actually the most affordable way to get started with us, whether you're a novice or a pro. I don't have the numbers handy here, but I know it's extremely low to get started with the inner circle. And I've had some members for, oh my gosh, many years, just about to day one of our training, right? In fact, we might even have some, I don't know, a lot of people stay in the bush, they don't come out. Only once in a while you hear from them. But again, contact customer service at DayTradeSPY to get the best pricing on the inner circle. Great place to start. Absolutely the greatest place to start. Okay. You're going to see a lot of information, get a lot of great information on this. So, and let us do the heavy lifting. All right. This is what we do every morning anyway, so we share it with you. So you might as well subscribe to some of these programs like the Pick of the Day, the Day Trade Size Signal, and the Inner Circle. Let us do the heavy lifting so you don't have to. Instead of trying to subscribe to many, many different feeds, news feeds, different things, and try and decipher the news, whatever comes out, just subscribe to these services and we tell you. We tell you all the relevant things. All right. All right, cornfield chat questions. Let's get back into some questions. All right. Questions. This past week has been the biggest hit on my account. Oh, minus 10K from five losses. I know, Alex. Few of us have been hit here, but anyway, sold one too early. Then the next day, market held, but the other four trades I held overnight did not recover. What can I do this week to prepare for the horrible market swings? Very limited. So many trades I can do right now. Okay, Alex. Um, okay, you will recover. You will recover. Okay, we got to do this very carefully here. I will not be too hasty in just jumping in. Maybe go back to paper trade and just kind of get a feel for what's the market doing. Where are we going with the market? There's been a lot of head fakes this last few days. I noticed that. Just a lot of craziness in the market. Now, when you look at the market swings that we had here in the previous few days, you shake your head and say, wow, how can you make money on this? Well, I'll tell you in a minute here how you can make money on this, okay? But I think if you're not feeling the love from the market, if you're not feeling the overconfidence that you need, not over, but the confidence that you need, do some paper trades. Do some paper trades for a little while. Let's see how you do there. And if you can get kind of at one with the market and see, okay, I got this kind of figured out, then transition to real money. Go light on this. You don't want to blow up your account too much anymore. And slowly you'll come back. All right, you'll slowly come back. All right, so yeah, I mean, I lost some calls. Oh my gosh, I was in the, believe it or not, the 710 calls. I think about a week or two, week and a half, something like that now. I can't remember. But I bought those based on the strength of earnings season. 'Cause earnings were going very well, especially the big tech sectors, right? And I think it was well, Meta and Microsoft disappointed. But I held some calls. I forgot now what it was. I was on SPY, but I was banking on. I think it was. Oh, well, it was definitely on some of these earnings, but kind of forgot which ones I was in. 710 SPY, but I was looking for a particular company to really knock it out of the park, but it didn't happen. So I took a total loss on those. Wasn't happy with it. Life on the farm, right? Life on the farm. But I knew the risks getting into that trade too. And I remember talking about it, saying this is a very high risk trade. Of course, it doesn't have to go to 710, but if there's any sense that it's going to start pushing back up, these things could go from 59 cents to a buck, $2 real fast. Well, it didn't. I think at the time, 59 cents, that was the highest it was. and it took a 100% loss on those. So we all have those, but I knew the risks going in, so um, I can't blame anybody, except myself. So that was a high risk trade. I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to say, you know what, you can play in other ways. You don't need to gamble money on a trade like that. And had it come in, a real winner, well, you know, could have, would have, should have, right? Well, it didn't. All right. All right. So another question here. In the day trade spy signal, do we need to close it at the end of the day, even if it's at a loss, or maybe we can wait for 1 or 2 days to see if the direction changes? All right, Carlos. So the system, right, the strategy calls it to be closed at the end of the day. However, we have a lot of people who know the system and sorry, they know how to trade, and they recognize that maybe at the end of the day the markets can actually deliver on these day trade spy signal trades, um, and it's best to hold on overnight. Now these generally have some pretty good time. The options that are sent to you on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday for next week, they generally don't lose a lot of theta value, so you may want to hold on to those. Tuesdays and Wednesdays, sorry, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Thursdays and Fridays. Those trades are definitely for the following week, and, but unfortunately, our program says that we have to close at the end of the day. So normally, I may not necessarily close at the end of the day. I may hold on to those, given the right circumstances. But according to the plans, that we actually have to close the trade by the end of the day. So that's why we say that. We could do a lot better if you hold on to those. So, all right, and yeah, and hold on for 1 or 2 days. Not a problem. So, all right. Have you ever looked at parlaying the 6% pat lanes? Let's see. Of course, you anyway start with 1,000, get 6%, go for 1060 next day. Okay. If all your recommendations are right, the $1,000 will double in 12 days, so the one trade each day. 252 trading days each year. There's going to be 21 to 12-day periods of doubling your money. That would make the last trade worth over 2 billion. What a dream. Well, Richard, that's a dream, right? And you're right. However, we're not always right. There are some days when we're wrong. Then it's a matter of cutting your losses. How do you do that? Especially when the market's really, really going against you. We don't use stop losses for what we do here, because the stop will take you out probably just about every time. And where do you put the stop? There's a lot of things that go into stops. I generally like to trade the high probability trades. So the trades that we recommend anywhere in our system, they are high probability trades. We're not going to recommend anything that is going to probably be a wash or worse, right? Want to make sure that they are all high probability trades. But what you say, obviously, you can take the $1,000 and turn it into huge money. The reality is, I'll take it up to, usually if I do this, I'll take it up to a certain point. Then I'll take 1,000 out or 2,000 out or something like that. Put it into my trading account. Let the rest ride. That sort of thing. But and I'll use different models to incorporate some of this compounding, I guess, compounding. I try not to compound, because that has a real devastating effect for when you're wrong, especially if you're nearing the project. I think that we had this happen to us last time too. We are actually getting pretty close to the end, and then the thing collapsed. Not a good place to be, right? So you got to be very careful with this. I think you're more careful near the end than you are at the beginning with these kinds of things, because it's very easy to blow up your account at the end, and there goes all of the profits for the whole month, right? But we will be doing that. I'll give you the details on the 10 to 50K challenge later on. Probably in late December, early January, just before we start the project. All right. Want to make sure everybody's on track. But it's going to be funny. It's going to be good. All right. Next question here. Okay. DayTradeSPY, do we need to close at the end of the, oh yes, okay, we get that one answered here. Here's one here. When I was holding Monday calls that eventually expired worthless. Let's see. I made other trades and made 4,000 this week. Nice trade, Jeff. At times just ignored Monday's call so I could make some winning trades to counter my loss. And I do that too sometimes, right? If I have a loss, I'm not going to pound, oh, just ponder that and cry in my soup over it type of thing. Okay, you're in a bad trade. You had a bad trade. Everybody has a bad trade sometime. Nobody is immune to bad trades. These days, we try everything we can to mitigate any loss or try and get out of things with a profit, but it doesn't always happen that way. So you have to factor those into the equation as well. But it's we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Every day trading is a new experience. I noticed that. So let's get on to the 2-minute tutorial, folks. 2-minute tutorial here. I'll get to some more questions later. So, how to make $2,000 a day trading options. All right. People often ask, and I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you what I did on Friday. These were real trades, real money, and in part I was showing a buddy of mine how to do this. So I went with something fairly reasonable that should be reachable by most everybody. All right. So these are real trades on Friday that you're going to see right here. Now the following, okay, so what I did in the trading room to play it safe because I know that people want safety first. I did trade the following week's expirations, Fridays and Thursdays and Fridays, and I did that in part obviously because I wanted to follow what we teach, right? Because we teach the safety aspect of it, and want to make sure everybody's okay with that. So we did that, and now after the trading room, that's it, no holds barred. I'm gonna get aggressive and I'm gonna trade the same day expirations. All right, zero date expirations. I don't talk about this very often, but I enjoy doing them because especially when you got the market going in your direction and you're at one with the market, believe me, there's so much money to be made in the zero date expirations. I don't recommend it without some very, very serious experience in the options market. In part because I want to be teaching this. You can't really teach. I mean, you can teach the zero date expiration, but things happen so fast. They just really happen very, very quickly in the zero date expiration. So you have to really kind of follow along, right? And imagine what that's like. So I'm going to show you what I did, all right? These were all real trades that I had done using Thinkorswim. This time I even put up the how many contracts I traded. So this is the summary. Of course, here's the date and time. Here's the number of contracts. Green is to open the position, red is to close. It's all on SPY. Trades, okay, I did do one trade for same day expiration on Friday in the early day, but then I says, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna do the ones with the expiration on the Friday instead, next Friday, just to keep in line with our teachings, right? So that's why you see this little break in here. 14th, that's next Friday's. So I did that for a series here, and then got back into same day expirations. All right. So these are the items I traded, calls and puts. Which ones? The 670, 667, 656. And here's the price. The green price is what I paid for them. The red price is what I got for them. Right. So here's what I did. Okay. So first trade took it from 213 to 230. That was 2 minutes. 2130 invested. $1,700 gain. 170 gain. Here it is right here. Next trade up was a 658 to 685 calls. I favored calls for this whole thing. Never mind trades. I don't get along with trades as well as calls, right? But I took it from 658 to 685 in 4 minutes. Invested 32.90. Picked up 135 gain. This next one was a 7-minute trade from 752 to 770 in seconds. Invested 3776. This happens, folks. Sometimes when you get really on a tear like this, you just have to make the decisions quickly. So that's why I don't get into, well, what was the setup and how did I exit or whatever. When I sensed that the market was bouncing off, say, a very strong EMA, exponential moving average, and pushing in my direction, I didn't know how far it was going to go. We had our doubts, but I was very happy with small gains. All right, multiple times a day. All right, what's this one? 663 to 685. There's another one for $110 gain. Another investment, $3,300 and 15 cents. The next one out of the gate here was the which one was this? The 390s? Yes. 690 to 695 in 3 hours. This one took a long time here. This is the 647 calls right here. Made only $25. I know I was losing on that one, and I kept losing. I thought, oh, should I lose it? Just hold on to it. By the way, at that time during market hours, I was not inclined to do any training. So it sounds like I'm a little bit disjointed somehow. That's what it's all about. 95 cents to a dollar. Okay, just picked up a nickel, but look at this, folks, on 40 contracts. Okay, so I invested $3,800, kind of in line with the other ones, and I picked up a nice $200 gain. All right, 95 cents to a dollar. Same with the next one, another 40 trade lot, 95 to 84. 84 to 100, 21 seconds, 95 to $1, 27 seconds. Here it is right here. Okay. So you can see invested 3360 for 640. Here's another one invested $3,800 invested, $200 gain. This happened quite a bit here. Now here's a little bit different. We had multiple entrances, same leg, got filled multiple times. Doesn't mean in this case, what is this? Six, let's see, two, four, six, seven. Doesn't mean I got billed 6 times for getting into this. I only got billed once. Okay. Took it just a nickel up in 3 minutes. $4,500 invested, 250 gain. I don't know if you've ever done any of these things. I've got uh, I've got Joel in here writing. Say, he says, "Yeah, yeah, I do that. Usually that's just before I start praying, and I swear I'm not gonna do this again." I say a little prayer. Dear God, please get me out of this trade unscathed. I promise I won't trade again if you do. Um, how's that holding up, Joel? This is an addiction. I don't think I would ever make that promise because as much as I would like to not trade anymore, I know that I can. Let's put it this way: I feel I can outspeed, outfast, outrun the bullet. Right. Anyway, 60 to 71 cents in this one here. This is a good trade. 52 seconds, less than a minute. 1,200 invested, 220 gain. Keep going up here. $112, $1.12 to $1.20. This one here. 3 minutes, 22.40. Picked up 160. Here's another one, 78 to 85. Another good trade in here. This one was done in 4 minutes. Only put 750 in, pulled back $100 gain. I'll take that one very much. What else do we have? Averaging in here, 67 cents and 76 cents. 20 lots each for a total of 20, sold for 75. 1430 investment, 128 gain. This last one is interesting here. Average of 89 cents. I had to go back to the news to determine what happened here and did they, you know, what did they do? So, but anyway, I got into some trades there. 30 contracts in all. 12, 8, so 20 at 75, and another 10 contracts at $1.17. Average buy-in price in this one here at two, was it 310? Sorry, 314 was average buy-in price was 89 cents. And then I added the other 95 in 8 minutes. Is that right? 89? No, no, that's wrong here. What am I doing here? 89. This is the average, 89 to 95. 95, there it is right there. 90, sold for 95 cents. That's it. 1430 was my average buying price, $128 gain. So what does all this mean? Here it is right here. 180, $180 gain. Well, the 13 trades, average buy price was 27.62. Average length of time per trade was 23.50, 23 minutes and 50 seconds. But I should warn, I should actually take these guys out of here. I've had some of these trades in there for a long time. Where's the one here for 1 minute? That's a long time. 4 minutes. Here it is, 3 hours, 14 minutes. This is a long time. So most trades don't go, certainly didn't go that long. I think if you take that out of the mix, you'll find that most trades were in and out of there in a matter of just a couple of minutes. So you had some here for, here's one, 27 seconds. Another one, 1 minute. Another one, 20, 21 seconds, 27 seconds. Those are good trades, folks. Those are good trades. All right. But look at this. My total gain was 24.08, less commissions. Done for the day. My average buy-in price was 27.60. So I know there's some people looking for a possible, a possible lucrative career with this. If you find this is the case statistically, you can do very, very well with this. Again, just invested $2,700 on average for the number of contracts and whatnot. And traded a lot and got out of there a lot too, just as quickly. This is not a buy and hold strategy, right? Just get in, get out, $2,400 less commission. All right, now what we're gonna do is take a little break here. I'm gonna do the contest. Let me just see what we're doing here. While we're doing the contest here, I'm gonna talk a little bit. So pick a number from 1 to 100. 1 to 100. I'm gonna pull up my random access generator. And let me see if I can find it. Here it is. Here it comes up. Of course, everything is electronic now, right? Okay, so put it in the questions box, folks. I'll just give you a couple minutes here while I read this comment here from Jeff D. When I was holding Monday calls that eventually expired worthless. I made other trades and I made $4,000 this week. Congratulations, Jeff. Times I just ignored Monday's calls so I could make some winning trades to counter my loss. Absolutely true. And that's what you got to do sometimes. Just, put on the back burner, say this one's gone. Not going to worry about it. So here's the thing. If it comes down to, let's say, worth 5 cents, some people like to just sell it and get the nickel. Well, if it's only worth, say, 5 cents, I might as well just keep it on there. Be prepared to take an additional smaller loss on the unlikely chance it's going to come back up. I mean, I've seen that happen where something was dead on arrival. It had held on to it. Um, you know, some doctor, if I needed medical attention or whatever, and forwarding up the street 10, 15 minutes, they would have done that, right? Because if it's so worthless, you might as well keep it on life support. There's no sense in getting rid of it. It's not gonna make any difference to your final bottom line, So might as well just hold on to it. All right, so okay, all the numbers are coming in. Whoa, lots of them. All right, going to cut it off here at 9:10. It's currently 9:09. All right, get your numbers in here. Here's the random number generated. This is not the number, folks. 89 is not the number. All right, I have to hit the button and then we're going to get the number. It is not 89, but let me get your numbers in, folks. Anybody still got to get a number in here? Give me your number. All right, we are now officially cut off. All right, no more numbers. No more numbers. All right. Reggie's the last one to get in. Reggie's the last one at 79. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to hit this button now, and I believe this is the one right here. All right, cross your fingers, folks. The number is 35. The number is 35 in our random number generator. So let's see. The closest to 35 gets the prize. If there is a tie, you both get it. So let's take a look here. All right, dear Randy, 37, just two away. Okay, 37. Do we have any closer than 37? So I'm going through the numbers here. Johnny L. Are you serious? 36. 36 for Johnny. Okay. Okay. Mike R. Also 37. Huh. I'm just writing these down here because. Okay, so Johnny L won the prize for tonight, and I'm going to send him an ebook. But you know what? Mike R and Diarani came in pretty close at only two. I'm going to give those guys an ebook as well. All right, I'm going to give those guys an ebook as well because um, that was close. I'm feeling generous here tonight, so uh, plus I've got a million copies here sitting in the cellar, right? It's a million seller, million copies in the cellar. All right, random number generator, 35. We're gonna get rid of this guy now. All right, there he goes, gone. And I think with that, we're gonna call it a night, folks. Thanks for hanging in there, 9:11 Eastern time. Well, it was a long night. Gonna have the recording made available to you very soon as well. And thanks again. We'll see you hopefully in the trading room tomorrow morning. If not, we'll see you next Sunday night, hopefully. All right, been a pleasure, folks.
You're the one, shine brighter than the moon and the sun. Be great at what you do, give it all of you, and trust the process and keep your eyes on the prize. I can tell you what I'm seeing, you can have